Hi everybody, Mature Simmer here. So this video is going to be a little bit out of sequence of things, but I'm not sure when it will be possible for me to get something on this particular topic here. Just a quick overview, but it's not going to be enough to really understand, but I'm in this new, for me, type of thing called Fseconomy, and I will have other videos, I promise, that are going to explain this in more detail for those who are interested in delving into this, because it took me a little bit to get things going and so forth, but I've only been in this product, I'll call it, for about a day at this point. So those 4.07 hours that you see, hours flown up here on the right, those are just incurred in the last day. So I've spent a lot of time in here trying to figure out what was going on and get familiar. Most importantly, I got to the point where I could actually have enough cash, because you start with 0 cash, and I understand I'm jumping in, haven't explained any of this, and I'm not going to explain anything in here, because otherwise it's going to get terribly long, terribly fast. But I've gotten to the point where I am now leasing a plane in this universe, and that comes with some substantial costs to the tune of $30,000 a month. And that is actual real-world months. So I paid a little bit of a prorated amount because I am not right at the start of the month. So I paid a fraction of that, and what I have left is the cash balance you see. I'm renting a Cessna Citation CJ4. So you can see there's a rent button, but that is the plane I am utilizing from someone. But the problem this plane has is this plane only has 57 gallons of fuel, and it consumes 165 gallons an hour. And there's no place to fly that is going to be, say, 10 minutes in total that I'll be in the air. So this isn't going to work. I need more fuel. But the place I can get fuel from up here, the FBO of Sol de Latinoamerica, you can see I'm here in Velasquez, Colombia, has 0 gallons of fuel on hand. So I'm in a little bit of a conundrum, as I have a plane with no fuel that I've rented for quite a pretty penny, and I need to be able to get it out of here to be able to use it and do anything. The thing I am trying to capture here is getting fuel to a plane that is in essence stranded somewhere in Fseconomy. That is what this video will be about. Not sure how I'm going to show these things. It may just be short videos that talk through how you work within the website and get things done. Because other than that, it's just flying in Microsoft Flight Simulator and completing the work that you've signed up for. But I'm going to focus very specifically on what you need to do to get fuel. So the first thing is you need to search for somewhere that you can get fuel, and you do that with the bottom 2 rows here. So I'm at SKVL, so I am going to put SKVL in there. And I want airports that sell Jet A fuel, because that is the type of fuel that I have. So this is definitely an environment that's challenging to learn to understand, and that's definitely why I'll be making some additional content for folks that are interested in getting into this. Because if nothing else, you've understood. I'm a neophyte in this world and in these topics and so forth, and so I'm feeling more and more that there needs to be kind of a For Dummies series, or For Dummies focused content. And so I think that's a void I can fill versus, being an aviation expert that shows you how to do something. I can be kind of the regular person who's like, flight sim is interesting to me, I want to take part, and I want to really get immersed in various things that I discover and so forth. So kind of helping share what my stumbles were and so forth, so that you can avoid doing that, but yet can feel like things like this are accessible to you. Because it did take a bit of effort to get in here and get into Fseconomy, because it's not the simplest thing in the world to figure out. But they do have a operations guide. So you can see here I've got minimum kilograms, and I found that 50 kilograms is roughly 20 gallons. So again, I only have 57 gallons. You know, adding another 20 might get me somewhere, but I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say I want at least 500 kilograms. So that I want at least 100 gallons, because I think that would be fine, given that the plane can hold up to 860 gallons. So I ended up expanding my search to be out 100 nautical miles from where I'm at, because unfortunately there's no airport close that has any fuel. So in searching around, my other option, even though it's further away, did have something I can bring to the airport I'm at, which is what you always want to do. Again, I'm trying really hard not to stray outside the scope of what we've got here, but I don't want just things happening and you're not aware of why I'm making these choices. So I'm going to fly from Bogota, which I'm going to fly right back to when I take my other plane. But again, that's not what this series is going to be about, is the flying, other than letting you know where I'm going. But let's get back to buying the fuel now. What I'm looking for is this, because this is the bulk fuel that I can buy. So I've got 66,000 kilograms of Jet A fuel available, you know, and I'm buying it at a less expensive price here, which is nice because basically, you know, I'm having to carry it where I'm going. So I need to buy Jet A fuel, and you can see I'm buying it for me at this location. So I think just to be safe, because I'm going to buy more fuel than this when I get over here to Bogota anyway, because it's usually a good idea to fly with at least half, but on this plane, it's probably less concerning. I could probably fly more full, but I'm going to go with 500 kilograms, so roughly 100 gallons, and that'll give me 157 gallons, which should be good. So I'm going to go ahead and buy this. You can see my cash balance now went to under 700. So I'm going here at the top to the goods menu and selecting goods. And so the goods owned by me, 500 kilograms of fuel here at SKBO, and I'm going to create a new assignment. So I'm going to SKVL, and I'm going to take all of it. Now I could use this if I wanted someone else to carry this for me, but I don't, and then I just want the one job. So I'm going to pay nothing, and I'm going to add this. And then here in my transfer assignments, I now have 500 kilograms of jet fuel A. So I'm going to add that to my flight, add selected to my flight. And then once again, not going to explain this at all at this point, but my flight now shows the 500 kilograms of jet fuel along with the other things I'm taking along here to turn this into a profitable way to get myself some fuel so that I don't have to take out a loan because I'm running low on cash. So I am now going to fly this fuel over to this airport. I'll see you in a bit. So heading in here to Velasquez. Figured I'd give you at least a little bit of flight sim. So this is in basically a pretty wide valley between some mountain ranges here in Colombia. I don't know exactly where I'd say it was at. You know, turn things off. We're at about 200 feet. Coming in a bit. Probably want to speed this up a little bit. The trees are always interesting here in Flight Simulator. But there we go. So we're gonna pull this back and then land here. At least we're gonna try to land here. There we go. Whoops. I'm trying to slow down. But yeah, we took a little bit over what we needed as far as the, you know, the fuel that I had on the other plane. Alright, so refreshing the Fseconomy website, you can see now my cash balance has jumped up. So now I feel, $4,000 is going to be a bit. So I'm not going to explain how that all worked. Obviously, you saw I was moving a bunch of passengers, but obviously I was also renting a plane and so forth. And so now there's 2 Cessna citations here. Mine that I'm renting, and the one I just brought here, but at least I didn't leave it with no fuel like the individual who flew here. But at this point, if I go to goods and goods here, you can see I have now 500 kilograms of fuel at this location because I did move it. So I'm going to grab my aircraft, and now if I head to my flight, go down to the aircraft, and then hit refuel, I here see a local fuel drum, which is my 500 kilograms of fuel. So I actually got a good amount here. So I'm going to choose the provider of the local fuel drum, and I am going to take all 186 gallons because I probably am not coming back here. I had to move that amount. I forget. When you fill, you're filling to the level. So I now have 243 gallons on the plane, which includes the 57 gallons that was there. Looks like I still have 1 kilogram. So to tidy things up, what I'm going to end up doing is I am simply going to that little bit of fuel, that 1 kilogram of fuel I have left, and I am going to take that back with me to Bogota on the flight that I'm actually going to take as I basically use my new leased plane to continue to move forward here in Fseconomy. Hope you've enjoyed this view into how to get yourself some fuel if your aircraft that you're choosing to use is stranded. It doesn't matter if it's a leased aircraft. It doesn't matter if it's an aircraft you want to rent. Obviously, if you're renting it, you'd have to buy fuel anyway to use it. But this gives you that option. And so it's nice that in the world they have that solution, basically, if someone does something like what Mr. Mike did here, which is fly a plane 1,100 miles to somewhere that doesn't have fuel and then leave it there. But if you've enjoyed this and have not dropped a like, please consider that. If you are not a subscriber to the channel, please consider that. As you can see, you never know what'll pop up. Definitely lots of things pulling my interest here. Flight Sim has definitely grabbed my attention. There just seems to be an unlimited amount of things you can get into, which is wonderful for a serious simmer like myself because it just opens up all kinds of possibilities. So there will definitely be some content that I've got ideas on the channel, just sharing with people what you can do, how you can do it, and really more of kind of simple how-tos for the novice who doesn't understand all the details, including even just, getting into Flight Sim and so forth. I think that would perhaps be helpful. So certainly give me a comment. What do you think? Would this be something, hey, you've always looked at getting into flight simulation but have been afraid to try it? I'll be happy to bring you along on the journey and share what I've learned as I've gotten into this in the last few months, and will continue to share more as I go forward. But with that, I will see you next time.